Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today we have our second review for Image Month. Where throughout the month of of January, I'm going to be reviewing Image comic books, which apparently that was like some other channel was doing that like last month, but I didn't know about it. Sorry, I picked January specifically months ago because it was like most of their like 90s like original series was put out in like August and during the summer, which I had plans for the summer, but I saw that Tom McFarlane's birthday was in January, so I decided, I'm just gonna do it January because that's the closest month to now, which was a few months ago, and it would just fit better because in May and during the summer, May I'm gonna do Star Wars month, and then like June and July I'm gonna do like Shonen Jump month or whatever, right? I haven't decided yet. So this today we're reviewing the graphic novel Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughn, art by Fiona Staples, which this is a sci-fi fantasy book. I only paid $11.50 for this book, which is for a 6 issue graphic novel, that's a really good price considering this came out in 2015, right? But if you look at the online, like this volume is pretty cheap, but like the other volumes are like, are up to like $30. So it's like, it looks like they specifically made the first volume cheap to like get readers into the series, right? Which is I guess is a clever plan. I don't know. So like Brian K. Vaughan, I've read a little bit of his work, Deus Ex Machina, which was like a story about this ex superhero turned like mayor of New York, which was pretty bad in my opinion, and like Why the Last Man, stuff like that. He's one of those writers where like he would be, in my opinion, he would be a great writer if it wasn't for the fact that he lets his politics, he inputs his politics into his work, right? And it ruins it for me, right? So obviously I try to keep politics out of my reviews, but if they bring up their politics, I have to bring up mine. So if you're like a lefty tuber, like you like leftist, stuff, this is probably in your alley. This is probably like a 7.5 out of 10 or whatever. But for me, this was like a 6 out of 10, and I'll bring up my reasons for that. The story, I'm gonna get into spoilers, but the story is basically there's like a Romeo and Juliet thing kind of going on where you have these. It's like the world is like almost like a Star Wars world, but where there's like magic and high technology. You have this two races at war of each other. One are these winged like humanoids whose ruling class are these robot humanoids with TVs for heads, and they shapeshift and they LARP as like 15th century, 16th century aristocrats, and they're called blue bloods. Um, One of the main characters who's a blue blood is called Robot 4, whatever, who's like a prince. Maybe he's 4 because he's like the fourth one in line to the throne. I don't fucking know. They never explain that. So our main characters are Marco, who's from the moon of I think the homeworld was called Landfall, which I think the moon is called Cleve. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, his race they have like they're kind of goat-ish, or some of them are. They have like goat-like ears and they have horns and they can use magic, right? And Marco carries a sword. The female character whose name I forgot because what was her name again? Oh my god. Let's see if it's. Yeah, I don't remember her name. She's such a bitch. I swear to God. Yeah, she's like a soldier on the other side. She was like a guard, and she at a prison facility for war prisoners, and she fell in love. They ran away, and they had a baby, and now both sides of the war want to track them down and like kill them, right? Because they're like a threat to the current war. So not only do you have like the robot prince is after them, but you also have freelancers like these weird mercenaries that are after them, which two of them were a couple. One's called the Stock, which is like this spider lady with that has like she has like no arms, but like her lower half is like a spider body, and she has like eight legs with hands that like can each carry like a weapon. And her ex-boyfriend, who's like a mercenary in this story, is called the Will, who looks kind of cool. He's like he has this cape with a cowl that can double up as a mask, but he never wears it. Who's like he's a pet lover, and he has this hairless blue cat that follows him around. That's like the size of like a jaguar or something. Who can talk and will tell him when people are lying, which he's a pretty cool character. He decides not to go after the couple because his ex-girlfriend, who's the half spider lady, is on the case, and she's a way better mercenary or bounty hunter than him. So he goes to a planet that's known for like prostitution called Sextillion. Goes there, right? And the comic book gets really pornographic. It's even more pornographic than like book series like The Boys or anything Garth Ennis. And like there's a lot of like, not only do you see like straight up sex, but like you even see genitalia. Lots of guys' penises and balls in the story. He goes there, runs into complications because some pimp tries to sell him like a 6-year-old girl. So he kills the dude with his bare hands. He's super strong apparently. Tries to free the girl, but runs into one of her owners, which tells him that, hey, if you take that girl off the planet, she'll like there's like a time release poison and she'll die, right? So he calls his ex-girlfriend to borrow some money. She gets killed by the robot prince 4, and now like he's sworn vengeance against 4. Yeah, so the it's the thing where like it's very like the book is very like it mixes like drama with comedy, and then you have this really dark fucking scene, which is like why the fuck did they put that there? I don't know. It's just like super like ruins the story. And like the characters talk like despite the fantasy world almost setting / sci-fi, they talk like leftist SJWs. Like there lots of swearing, lots of liberal nonsense, which these two people grew up in like war times where people were like they grew up in hard times. People usually don't have that kind of mentality, liberal mentality, in like hard times. You don't usually only get that in like when you grew up easy, right? Which leftists don't like to hear that. But like really, you only get that kind of mentality when you grew up in the suburb and you never run into like you never had to deal with poverty, you never had to deal with like getting mugged and shit like that. So it's just like it's very like these characters don't talk like how they would considering their like circumstances in lives, which is really fucking obvious. And like this Brian K. Vaughan has gone really fucking SJW. He was a leftist before, don't get me wrong, but like for him to like um to like, you know, just like he just talks like a SJW now is fucking like way like retarded, dude. And then there's the fact that, you know, like the book is like, I'm fine with the one of the characters being anti-pedophilia, right? That's cool. But it, like, who's pushing pedophilia the most is people like is bread tubers, and the left is like Vaush, right? Vaush is the biggest leftist YouTuber on like YouTube, and he said more than once that like CP cheese pizza should be legal. There's no moral reasons why it shouldn't when it's depictions of like child abuse. You fucking retard. They're the ones pushing that the most, and you have this character who's like that comes off kind of leftist. Almost all the characters except for the aristocracy got the aristocracy and the bad guys come off as leftist, and it's like, what the fuck, dude. And there's a one point of bad writing where, like, you know, this guy, the Prince 4, right, the robot prince, he gets talked down to a lot and insulted by this this guy who's part of the secret intelligence, who's not obviously not part of the royal class because he's a winged person, he's not like a robot, and he talks down to him and insults him a lot. If this was a real aristocracy, right, you wouldn't have that kind of shit, because this guy could just kill him for like, and like, you know, medieval ages, you know, the samurai times, like if you insulted like a noble, they had the right to kill you, right? So the fact that they have that shit going down is just bad writing to me. Is there good stuff in this book? Yeah, the action compared to Brian K. Vaughan books in the past, there's a lot of cool action here, but it's just, you just have these badly written characters and bad dialogue, right? And it just ruins it. My favorite character so far is Prince 4. And then there's the fact that, you know, there's lots of swearing, lots of degeneracy, a lot of nudity, and it's just like it's the thing where like they think, oh, a good story needs like lots of sex and swearing. It's like, dude, some of my favorite books don't have sex and swearing. They have implied sex, right? But they don't show it, and you know, it's just like Dune, for example, right? Great series, no swearing, no sex. There's implied sex, but they never show it. Great fucking series. This is just like wannabe HBO series, and apparently Brian K. Vaughan worked for a loss, which tells a lot, because that show, great first season, just went to shit because they had no idea what the fuck they were doing, right? Yeah, so I would say if you're an SJW type, you probably hate me right now, but like, yeah, you probably like this book. But if you're not, it's like, I don't know, it's just a 6 out of 10. It's just like it just goes all over the place. First it's lighthearted, then it goes super dark, and then like, it's just, dude, this is a very hard book to review. But yeah, I would say if I can give it one positive, it kept my attention, right? I never got bored reading the book, but I was disgusted and pissed off at times. And then there's the fact that I find it weird. If you can get this book for cheap, I would say it's worth it. But like, if the other books are like $30, I would never pay $30 for this, right? So I'm probably not going to continue reviewing this series unless someone requests from me, in which I do like free requests. If you want to request me like to do a review, no charge, right? You just have to be subscribed, and that's it. So that's it for this review. I'm gonna review this anime movie called Barrios, and I'm gonna do commentary for the anime film Evangelion one. What's it called? I can't remember. It's on my shelf. I can't read it from here though. And yeah, I'll review the Pit tomorrow. All right, peace.